Hi everyone, and thanks for watching another SM Scrapper video. This video is for a tutorial for the emboss pieces technique. This was a request by many of you after seeing this card that I made. I'm going to try to make it quick because my battery is running out of my camera, so but I don't have any other time to do this. So here we go. We're going to need Versamark ink. We're going to need a script stamp. This particular one is a Hero Art stamp. It's called Old Letter Writing. I'm not using the usual one that I use, which is my Stamping Up, because it's really hard to find. So I figured I would use this one because this one you can find anywhere, and it's very similar. I'm going to use a silhouette stamp, meaning you get the silhouette of a image. I'm not using the one that I used with the card because it's just too intricate. This one has bigger, it's a bigger image and you'll be able to see it better on video. You're going to need some clear embossing powder, some distress inks, also some of these shadow applicators, eyeshadow applicators. I use these to paint with my distress inks. You can find them at Target or your, pharmacy or the dollar store. They look like this. These ones I got at Walmart, I believe. So they come like this in these little packages, and you just use it to color. So, and I'm also going to be using my Stamping Buddy. Mercy, this is what I was talking about, the Stamping Buddy. So your embossing powder only gets, only sticks to your Versamark, not to everywhere around the page. This is what it looks like. So we're going to start real quick. This is very simple. You're going to take the piece of paper you're going to use, and you're going to take your background stamp. I'm going to use Antique Linen Distress Ink. I hope I'm on frame. I'm not behind the camera, so I don't know whether you're watching all of this. Hopefully I am, and you can see what I'm doing. Then you take the stamp, and you stamp your image. I usually, when it's big stamps like this, I usually put the paper on top and run a brayer over it, but I decided not to do that this time. So I'm just going to press real hard, make sure the entire image is there. And let's put this aside. As you can see, I hope you can see, there's the stamped image. So after that, we're going to take my Stamping Buddy, and you're going to tab the whole image, because we want to make sure that when we stamp with the Versamark, the embossing powder just goes to where you want it to go. I'm going to take my Hero Art stamp, and I'm going to take some Versamark ink, and I'm going to put it all over the stamp. Make sure you cover your entire stamp with a lot of Versamark ink, because you need to have your embossing powder hold nicely on the image. So I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to make sure I stamp properly. Sometimes I like to stand up when it's thicker stamps like this, bigger stamps like this. I just want to make sure that the whole image is, stamped with the Versamark on top. Okay, here we go. Then we're going to take our trusty clear embossing powder and put it all over our image. Make sure you cover it nicely. It's very hard to see, so you gotta be very, very careful. Let's try that again down here. I just want to make sure I get every little piece on there properly. I think I did. So let's put this aside, and I'm gonna close this. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can so I don't make the video too long. Then I have this, I use this little wooden plate I got at Michael's just to heat up everything that I emboss. I have a little bit of a craft sheet here. Let's see if I find my tweezers. I don't need it. Let's heat up our embossing gun, our hot gun. And I can't find my tweezers, so I'm just going to do it with my hands. And you're going to emboss. You got to make sure you melt all the image. It's going to be very hard to see because it's clear embossing powder, but you want it to be clear because you want to see what you previously embossed. So you melt all the powder in there nicely. I want to make sure I get every corner, every little bit of the stamp completely melted. I think we're done. Let me check if we're done. Gotta bring it up close. And there's a little edge here that needs a little bit more. So basically this type of technique, you want to do it with stamps that are, that have thick, solid sides and, not too intricate, images. So I'm going to start by getting fired brick, and I'm going to take my little foam and I'm going to start filling in my flower. And it's like coloring. You fill in the flower, and I'm doing it, rather quickly just for the sake of the video, but usually you would bring it up closer to your face so you can see what you're doing. Try not to get my face on the video because I look crazy. It's been a long day. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning here. Alright, and I'm going to take barn door, and since it's red, I'm just going to flip my little thing around. Before I was using this side, now I'm using this side. And the reason why I'm using different colors is because I want to blend. I want the flower to have, a little bit of shading as well. I don't want it to all be a solid color. And don't worry about getting it outside the lines because you can wipe it off later on. So you see that only the areas that have not had any embossing are the ones that are picking up the color. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to take some worn lipstick. Now I'm going to switch my little shadow applicator, and I'm going to get warm lipstick, distressing, and I'm going to finish filling in my flower image. And it's tricky because, as you can see, this stamp, is rather has rather large flowers. So as you can see, and I hope you can see, the flower has some shading, and obviously my, the darker side is where the shadows are, and the lighter side is where the light's hitting it. So the light's coming this way. Alright? So there we go. We put these away. Put this out of the way for now. And I'm going to take peeled paint and crushed olive to do my leaves. And again, I'm going to start with my darkest color, the peeled paint. And I'm going to start filling in all around where I want the green to go. I want to do some shading, so I'm not filling in all the leaf, I'm just doing what I want to be darkest. Then, make sure you rub it all in there. You can pick up all the stems. Try not to go over, where the flowers are, because it's not going to look good if you have green with your red. Okay, so now I'm going to flip my little shadow applicator and use the other side to use my crushed olive, which is one of my favorites. And let's see, I have a little bit of shadowing here I want to do, so I flip. Alright, so I'm going to go over it like that. And as you can see, again, the stamped image is coming out. You can see the leaves now and the stem. Let me get that stem a little darker there. So it's good that you use the same shadow applicator because you can flip. If you want something darker, it still has some of that peeled paint. Let me grab some of this peeled paint and do these stems over here. You can see it's picking it up nicely, and then I flip it again and use my crushed olive. So I hope you can see that the image is coming out nicely. And I think I want to work a little bit on this image right here. Make it a little darker on this side and this side. And over here I want to make some little touches. So I want to make it look nice. So now I'm going to take a little baby wipe. You can take any paper towel and just go over it real lightly. Oops, not too much, because you don't want to take the color off of here, because you know that the distress inks do react to water. But you know what, I'm going to use a dry, because this one is too wet, this paper. This baby wipe. So this is my stamped image. Let me see if you could see. So you see the flower? This is the flower. This is the stamp. And this is how it's painted. Now, what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you could see, but the edge of the embossing is right around here, so I cut my paper a little bit bigger than I wanted it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut it with my scissors, and I'm at a little bit over 11 minutes, so I have to hurry. I'm just going to cut around the image a little, leaving a little edge. Real quick, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Distresser real quick to distress the edges nicely, because I want to make this look a little bit like old paper, like antique. And for that, I'm going to use antique linen again, and also a little bit of vintage photo on the edges only. So here's my distressed image. Let's get all this out of the way. And I'm going to take my handy dandy Tim Holtz tool and distress all around. Trying to be as fast as I can. So I can show you the finished image. Okay. And this side. Then I want to make the edges a little bit darker, so I'm going to use a little bit of vintage photo. And again, I'm just, you know, the ink is being resisted by the embossing powder that's right here. That's why there's no ink going on in here, because the embossing powder is obviously not letting it get to the paper. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm just trying to get this video under the 15-minute mark. So that's what the image looks like once it's done. See, you can see the embossing powder. And that's it. Then you just put it on your card. For example, if I was going to do a switch and put it on a card like this, you would just put the image right there. And that's it. That's your image. You can see the words. Hope the camera focuses. There you go. You can see the words in the back and the, you know, the shading of the flowers and the leaves. So that is the emboss resist technique. The embossing resisted all the ink. So I hope you liked it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.